Okay, we're okay. Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 84. And this is basically a follow-up episode to last week's Hacker Team, whatever you want to call it, leak, and subsequently all their documents being released. Tom and I, we found some Flash exploits that are being actively used to the point that people are just the Flash death spiral is going on, and we have 20 minutes. We have 30 minutes. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so the sooner we can kill off Flash, the better. I did not share this opinion back when the iPhone came out, but as time has gone on, yeah, Flash, it's got to go.
I mean, there's so many ways now to deal with the internet without using Flash. I think the only people that use Flash are horrible chain restaurants that you only want to see their menu and you can't do it because it's Flash based.
Yeah, it's really, kind of the bastion of poorly made websites and some weird little annoying things that just don't work without Flash. For instance, so I got rid of Flash. I uninstalled Flash from my browsers, including Chrome, because I use Chromium and I was able to remove the plugin. Stupid things are still kind of broken. So YouTube's HTML5 player, not very good. Their Flash player, really good, really solid. Google Music doesn't work without Flash. Even when you turn on the HTML5 Music Lab, it did not work for me.
Well, I thought YouTube went HTML5 years ago. I mean, I knew they did the beta and everything else, but I thought they were all they moved over at this point.
You can use the HTML5 player, but if you have Flash installed, I believe it'll use that one. I've had issues with the HTML5 player on YouTube. It's not very good. It stutters, it skips around, and it seems to take more resources, depending on browser, than running it in Flash.
Oh, but do we think that, well, so the original iPhone is 9 years old now? I mean...
Yeah,
something like that.
So,
I mean, 9 years ago, we were talking about how necessary was Flash, and I remember all Android was touting is you can watch Flash if you download this app, which was like a Flash plugin app. Yeah. So even then, they didn't want Flash, but you can, and that was a selling point. And everyone said, "Oh, this, that, and the other thing." But you know what? I don't think anybody wants to watch Flash, especially on mobile.
No,
mobile's tough.
Yeah, everyone really... So when Android did Flash, everyone was really excited because, holy crap, Flash works on your mobile phone. That's so cool. But then you quickly realize, hey, Flash doesn't scale. So if you've got a UI that looks decent on a web page, you would go to that same page on your mobile browser and it would render in Flash, but it wouldn't render the mobile version of the site, right? It wouldn't squish down. It wouldn't make the text bigger. It wouldn't make the buttons any bigger like web pages do. You just had to zoom in and kind of poke at it to get it to work. It wasn't a very good experience. And it was heavy on CPU. It drained your battery. And, back in that day, what was their app? It was like 30 megs, 50 megs. It was a pretty big app for the Play Store back in the day.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. I don't think I downloaded it. I said, you know what? Why I still to this day don't understand why people watch videos when on their phone when they can watch it on their laptop or on a desktop or anything like that. I mean, my opinion has since changed, but when the tablets came up, but when the phones initially came out and you were using 3G and everything else, it seems so just, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's not a good experience. You would pull the video slow. It half the time, thanks to Flash being so resource intensive, it would stutter and it wouldn't play completely smooth. You would get audio dropout issues. It just wasn't very good. But like you said, it was a big selling point. People would tout that. They'd be like, "Well, I get to use the whole internet because I have Flash, and the iPhone doesn't."
When 6 months prior, no one was having the whole internet except Apple finally got something. And then now Andrew's like, well, you didn't put Flash in it. Now we can say we have the whole internet and Flash.
Yeah.
So all the BlackBerry people were saying, well, the BlackBerry never had full, I don't think BlackBerry still has full internet. I think they finally went WebKit.
Yeah, finally.
I don't know. Would you buy a BlackBerry Android
No.
powered phone?
No.
No.
No. I don't like keyboards. I tried a BlackBerry back in the day, and I liked my T9, probably because I wasn't writing huge long business emails. I was texting my mother, and you know, a T9 keyboard worked perfectly for me. The Sidekick wasn't bad. The whole flip your phone up sort of full QWERTY keyboard, that's not bad. But I like T9.
Look, I didn't get into texting until way late in the game. I mean, I think I had a smartphone before I really started texting and typing out things, but T9 when it worked apparently was awesome.
Yeah, it was okay. So for people who don't understand, and this is probably, you know, we're probably talking to maybe one or two of our viewers who are young enough to not experience T9, to have not experienced it. But you know how when you're typing something on your smartphone and it'll do autocorrect, and sometimes it's awesome. Most of the time it works pretty well. Sometimes it's really awful and it messes up your words and makes you say dumb things. T9 was like that, but it worked the majority of the time. So you would have 3 letters on a key, and you could hit like, what was it? Like 3, 5, 4, and it would be like, oh yeah, okay, the word you're trying to come up with is dog, because you've hit these letters in a row, and based on the popularity of words in my dictionary, dog is the best choice. And if it wasn't, you just hit 0 and it would flip to the next word that made sense. Really, really cool.
And people won the speed texting challenges using T9.
Oh yeah.
Before Swipe came about, and they went from there.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, anyway, we're going down memory lane when we want to talk about Flash. But look, Flash. I don't, like I said, I don't think Steve Jobs was revolutionary that said, oh, Flash needs to die. I think people just saw that it took up too much power to make a good product, and if you have to save battery life or save this or do that, he said, you know what? Let's get rid of Flash, because you know what? We'll change the behavior, and for the most part, people did. Yeah. There's a lot less Flash sites out there.
I think really that has less to do with the iPhone and more to do with good, concrete HTML5 web standards, right? When Flash was huge in its heyday, the best pages on the web were using frames, and it sort of worked, and you would click on a link in this frame, which was literally 3 web pages kind of sandwiched together in your browser, and clicking on something in one would load something in a different pane. Really, it was kind of awkward, but it was high tech back in the day. So when Flash came about and you could do dynamic content, you could have animations, you could have beautiful web pages with, you know, video intros and sound and a lot of cool stuff that was easy for web developers to make, everything went Flash, right? But as HTML5 came out and you've got CSS3 combined with that, you can get the beauty, you can get the power, you can get the animations, the buttons, and you can really make HTML5 work on any device with a screen. As long as you make your site responsive, it'll fit whatever you're throwing on, whether it's a TV, a computer screen, or a phone, or even a watch.
Remember, Flash was the original pre-roll ad for your website. Yeah. People would go there, and they would be they called it a splash site, and you would have to watch this really obnoxious animation. And you said, hey, I just want to enter. I don't care.
Yeah.
And that was a big to-do back then. And then when Flash didn't work, there was no way to continue there because the whole animation was a button. There was a whatever, on-click, whatever. So I think the other thing that people started seeing is, 1, the processor, but 2, there were a lot of vulnerabilities. A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And this really... You know, I don't want to completely rag on Adobe and Macromedia and Flash as technology. Yes, it has security holes. Yeah, some of that's probably caused by them not watching their stuff closely enough. But really, we see the same thing happen to Microsoft. We see it happen to, you know, QuickTime's fallen out of popularity, but QuickTime back in the day, or Java, even still today. That the most popular pieces of software are targeted by hackers, right? People are seeking out security vulnerabilities in the popular stuff because that way they can net the most users when trying to spread malware or get people trapped into a botnet. Flash is installed everywhere. It's a ubiquitous piece of software. Everyone has Flash today. So that's why it's targeted by a lot of hackers to try to, leverage security vulnerabilities against it.
And people want more Flash. What they did, they wanted more of the multimedia and whatever they can get to make it look prettier. All the web developers saying, wait, I can do it. I think I remember reading some books on how to do Flash, like how to make the Flash animations. And for me, it was just way too hard. I didn't have that creative spirit in me to say, I want to sit there and make these little Flash movies, but they existed. I mean,
there were entire websites dedicated to Flash movies. There still are today. It's kind of ridiculous.
I'm still hoping for a new Strong Bad email, but if you don't know, Homestar Runner was one of them. You had a whole bunch of, before YouTube, you had a whole bunch of people making Flash animations in cartoon form, and they were hugely popular in the late 90s.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things, so the whole story was HackingTeam had a whole bunch of, or at least more than one 0-day exploit. And as it was made public, the bad guys were already installing it and trying to exploit computers. So much so that Firefox said, you know what? We just got to stop Flash until updates are released and we know that all these vulnerabilities are eliminated.
Right. Mozilla went ahead and they turned on click to play for all versions of Flash real quick, which essentially means if you come up to something that has Flash on a website, you'll get this scary looking banner that says, whoa, hold on a minute there, cowboy. This plugin is out of date and could be dangerous. You have to click it and then say OK on the scary warning banner to allow it to run. We're not going to allow it by default. Really, for a lot of security people, a lot of security conscious people, they'll turn on click to run for Flash anyway, just because they don't want that stuff running in the background. They want to click on the things they want Flash to run with. So after Adobe came out with the fix, because they did come out with a fix, Mozilla then, for the versions that were fixed, allowed Flash to just run without having to click through. But yeah, they did the good thing, the appropriate thing, and they responded with protecting their users first.
Well, I mean, I've run with an extension called FlashBlock for years. So, I mean, yes, I don't run Firefox, but I think Chrome now does the same thing. Chrome, I think, automatically does their own Flash updates. So if you have an issue, whatever it is that Chrome deals with the updates for PDF, for basically all the Adobe products, because there are so many vulnerabilities. And I think Safari does it too. I don't know if Safari was in this, but I don't know if Safari can just issue an update, like an automatic update. I think it had to go through the whole process.
I'm trying to remember. I haven't used Safari in a very long time.
I mean, Chrome and Firefox are auto update, at least with Firefox 21 and later, or 25 and later. One of the versions had automatically update and restart. So you can do that. Chrome has been auto update almost from the beginning. So if you're on Chrome, you're automatically updated. So unless you're not updating. So, and then I think I remember one of either the flags in Chrome or at least something said, do you want Flash to always run? And people would always say yes, but they had an extension, and it works on Firefox too. And I recommended, basically, it stops Flash from running until you explicitly click on it. So instead of a banner coming up, there's a box that says, there's Flash here, would you like to run? And you would click it and it would run. So clicking on it, watching a YouTube video sometimes took 2 or 3 clicks, but you know what? It loaded up much faster, at least the whole YouTube page, and all these sites, they load up much faster. And then if you want to play the Flash thing, you click on it and it works.
And the best part about this, those Flash ads that would make noises and start playing movies or commercials in whatever webpage you were on, they just wouldn't work. Not until you clicked on them. And no one clicked on him. It was great. It's like having ad block for the most annoying ads on the web.
Well, and we were talking about this before the show. We both tried running without ad block for a day or two, and it was just impossible.
Yeah.
And we want to try. It's the problem with ad block, and at least with ad block, is that it takes up so many resources because it's sending the traffic there and it has to strip it out. The good part about flash block is if it notices the asset of flash, it just blocks it. It just puts a thing there. So websites actually load up much faster. And then you can say, hey, do I really need this weird animation in the background doing this and that and the other thing? If you do, you click on it. If you don't, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, and depending on the type of ad block you have, some of them will load the stuff and then remove it from the page. Some of them, the most popular ones, will actually look at what site, what domain it's coming from, and kill it right there before you even download it. So you're actually saving bandwidth. It's really nice and makes things way faster on mobile. Mobile ad block is a little odd. Most of the time you have to root your phone, but it does work and it saves some bandwidth. So Adobe did issue a fix for this. The latest version of Flash looks to be decently protected until we find the next 0 day in the hacking team files. But it's a really good thing that the security community has taken such an interest in poring over these files, digging through them, and trying to find out exactly how Hacking Team was doing what they do, how they were breaking into computers. This leak is going to make people a lot safer.
Well, the problem is that how we don't even know what level they were. I mean, the stuff that's coming out was so bad. Like kits, I can't spell EFEI bootloaders and everything else that you couldn't get rid of, and they were able to infiltrate computers and things like that. So hopefully they learn, not that they learn their lesson, but hopefully we find a lot more about all these 0 days. They get fixed, and like you said, we are safer because of it.
Right. There's actually the first Java 0 day in a couple years hit the net. Oracle, of course, is issuing a fix. But I'm going to go back to the number one piece of security advice I have for anyone ever. If you want to improve the security of your or anyone else's system, get rid of Java. Completely get rid of Java. Just uninstall it. Number 2, get rid of Flash. Completely. Number 3, get rid of Adobe Reader. If you do those 3 things, you're removing a lot of threat vectors from your system, just flat out.
Well, I would also add, do not use Internet Explorer if you're using Internet Explorer.
Right. Use a better browser, use ad blockers, turn on auto updates. Hopefully you haven't turned off auto updates. There's a lot of little things you can do to protect yourself. And anyway, Adobe Reader is so big and heavy and loads slow. Use something like Foxit or Sumatra PDF or something like that.
Because remember, the PDF standard is open.
Yeah, anyone can read PDFs. You don't need Adobe Reader.
Writing PDFs is a different story, but if you're just looking to read PDFs, and again, Chrome has it built in. And I think does Firefox have it built in?
Yes, they do now.
So now it's built into the browser. So if you're looking at stuff, you're most likely downloading it. So, but if you need, I think you can even open it. You can right click and open with Chrome or Firefox and be done with it.
Okay, yeah, so I will regularly download PDFs and just drag it over to Firefox and it opens right up.
So yeah, you don't even need to have a PDF reader on it because it's going to open up right in the browser. Use your browser. Yeah. And Chrome and Firefox are automatically updated. And we're not bringing Opera into the mix because we're just not sure. I don't know. I think Opera auto updates at this point.
I believe so, but I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, Opera was the redheaded stepchild that no one remember. Opera used to be paid, and people didn't pay for it.
Right. So yeah, then it went open, and I think they're just making their money by doing embedded deals. I know they bundle their browser into different products, different embedded systems. I don't know, something to look into.
But they and then the other one is if you don't use Flash, get rid of it. We'll go back to Java. And let's say a caveat. Yes, if you don't need Java on your computer for anything, uninstall it. But some people, if you develop in Java, you obviously need it. But you want to disable the plugin to your computer. A website should not activate Java.
Right. You can disable it in the browser if you need it on your computer. And the biggest reason people wanted Java, at least on Windows machines, they say, but Minecraft. Minecraft on Windows bundles in Java now, so you don't need separate Java. And the Java in Minecraft stays contained to Minecraft. It's not going to get infiltrated or attacked by a website.
Why can't the Minecraft? I don't play Minecraft. Everyone else that I know plays Minecraft. Why can't there be a standard? Why can't the mods? I was trying to get Minecraft to run on the Oculus Rift, and it's impossible because you have to be on a downgraded version. You need this, you need that, you need the other thing. Why can't somebody I forgot his name now? Why couldn't they just make this work?
Well, they've been trying to do the mod API for a while now. It's been in talks. It was almost standardized. They changed everything. They got bought by Microsoft. It's one of the things that's been constantly in the works for a long period of time.
And yet my students can figure this out. They can figure out which version, how to do this, how to do that, but yet they can't update their system. They know that they need to upgrade or downgrade Minecraft to different versions, and how on Minecraft to change to the different version numbers, and how to run the mod, and to do this, and to do that. But a simple, can you just update your machine once a month? They can't do.
But updating your machine is boring. In the best of cases, it doesn't slow down your machine any more than it already was. In the worst cases, you don't boot up properly, it's slowed down, certain things are broken, and you don't have any fun after you're updating, right? If you install a mod, you can have a ton of fun, but updates, I like updates as a Linux user because I get more free stuff, but
Can you run Minecraft on your Raspberry Pi?
On the 2? I don't know. It's Java, so it should. It would be really tight.
I'm just thinking, you know what? So yes, you're saying Minecraft runs Java, but it's self-contained. You know what? If that's the only thing and it works on the Model B, because Minecraft runs on anything.
I don't think it would work on the Model B. The 512 megs of RAM would be really, really constricting for Minecraft. Minecraft it's Java. It's very memory hungry.
So what I was thinking is just get that. Put Java on, get Minecraft, put on a Raspberry Pi, and then leave that to your kids to do whatever they want to do, and then you have your machine. And then poaching off the Security Now podcast, apparently a lot of banks still use Java.
Oh yes.
Call up your bank. Tell them to stop.
Yeah. Luckily, my bank does not use Java. It uses an amazing amount of JavaScript, which, by the way, is not Java at all. JavaScript and Java, they just share the first 4 characters of the name. They have nothing to do with each other. They're not developed by the same people. The code doesn't even look the same remotely. Totally different things. Horrible that they decided to piggyback off the success of Java by calling it JavaScript because it has nothing to do with Java.
Yes, but again, disable JavaScript. The other one was, what did you say? You said Flash, Adobe, or Flash PD.
Adobe Reader. Use a different browser. Keep auto updates on.
I mean, the good part is that if you're up to date with your browser, the companies, whether it be Mozilla, whether it be Google with Chrome, Safari probably too, they want to keep you updated. So they really do want to make sure that you're safe. And for the most part, they're doing a good job. But when you have these 0-day exploits, remember, there's no patch for them yet, and they're being actively exploited. Remember, CryptoLocker, I think, just made a resurgence because of this. CryptoLocker was trying to find a way to make the exploit in Flash that would just lock up your stuff. You're out of luck.
Right. Yeah. And I think we have a mini topic, and then we've got Proxy Ham.
So yeah, there's nothing more of this, but Proxy Ham was the reason I wanted to go to DEF CON.
Yes, yeah, Proxy Ham was the reason that a lot of people wanted to go to DEF CON. If you haven't heard of Proxy Ham, essentially what it is some computer parts, like a Raspberry Pi. I believe it was a Raspberry Pi in the original. Some antennas, an Ethernet cable, and you can essentially make a proxy to the internet that would if someone were to track you down by IP address, you would be up to 2 miles away from where they tracked you. Now, why this is interesting, because it sounds like, oh, well, yeah, you just fire an antenna at something, use some long-range, radio frequency, and hop on the net. Why this is getting so much attention is the government shut it down. Now, we don't
know that.
We don't know that the government shut it down, but these guys were all excited. They had their papers. They were going to DEF CON. Everyone was really excited. And then they said, hey, we're pulling out. We have to shut it all down. I'm not giving you any information on the hardware or the software. There will never be a release. Peace. See ya. And that was it. So in my mind, there's only one explanation for this, and that's the feds told these guys to not do that at all. Which honestly was probably, I don't know if the FBI has used the internet. But when something is on the net and someone tries to take something away from the internet, everyone wants it, or everyone spreads the information everywhere. It's the Streisand effect. So, of course, we've got places like Hackaday. Great site, by the way. I love Hackaday. Hackaday is saying, hey, if you wanted to build your own proxy ham, here's how we think they would do it, and this should work for everyone. There's a lot of people discussing how to build your own software builds for it. If the FBI wanted to shut this down, or the government wanted to shut this down, they've done a terrible job, because now it's more popular than ever.
Well, I mean, I was reading something on, I think ours technically carried it, that basically said that we don't think that it's the government saying you have to stop. Something else happened, unless they're really trying to hide something. It basically, all the people in the community are saying, it doesn't look like the government, but it smells like the government and it walks like the government.
Right.
So no one really knows, but now they are no longer at DEF CON. And it was basically for $150, you put this box somewhere within two miles from where you want to be, and then you piggyback off that Wi-Fi.
Right. You connect it to like Starbucks or McDonald's Wi-Fi, and then you'd go, run away to your apartment or wherever you are 2 miles away.
The good part about this is like we said, it de-anonymizes IP addresses, which people have been saying for years is not a valid identifier of who you are. And this is just another example of exactly that.
Yeah. And I mean, this is nothing different than, using a antenna or a long-range antenna hooked to a Wi-Fi card to hit a Starbucks across the street, right? People have been piggybacking off of public Wi-Fi to do hacks, money laundering, illicit internet activities forever. It's happened since public Wi-Fi has been a thing. We've been piggybacking on our neighbors' connections to do illegal stuff on the net, right? That's just how it works. But this increases the range quite a bit, and it would have been cheap and easy to set up.
And I wonder if you could make, now let's take this. You make a whole bunch of these. Can you make your own like Tor network with this?
You could make a mesh network. Now, there are other technologies that would be better suited to a mesh network, and actually other big projects. I know in very urban areas in Chicago, there's a huge mesh net scene where people are setting up their own routers, and they've got their own, essentially their own internet inside of this mesh network, and it's not connected to any centralized portion of the net. It's just all connected within each other. It's like a secondary internet that doesn't touch the main internet. It's odd and weird and really cool. But yeah, mesh networks have been around for a long time. You probably wouldn't use the proxy ham technology to make one. You'd probably use something like Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi hops, or I'm just spitballing at this point.
Just a thought that you just set them up within 2 miles of each other, and then you figure out, you set up a bunch of them, and you just figure out where you want to not exit from,
right.
But whose internet do you want to steal today or borrow today? So if you are doing something that you really need to be anonymous for, you have that ability.
Right. And this would actually be an easy thing for a place like Starbucks to kill outright. If they said, hey, every day we're going to change the password and we're going to put it on everyone's receipt when they buy a coffee, and that's what you log in with, and every day it changes. It would make it really annoying to run one of these things. That said, there's enough free open Wi-Fi out there that you could find something else, but at least for businesses, that's an easy way to get rid of this problem.
Of course. So, okay, well, we're at 30 minutes. We'll just end with Tom wanted to show the viewers something.
Yes. So we had on Saturday the Ohio InfoSec conference presented by the Ohio InfoSec Forum. And we gave our speakers and one lucky audience member one of these, a Raspberry Pi 2. It's awesome. It's got a gig of RAM, a gigahertz processor, 4 cores, really nice, tiny little computer, $35. I got this for 30 because they were having a sale. But yeah, pick these up. They're awesome. It's a tiny little Linux computer. But then we wanted to do something special because anyone can get a Raspberry Pi, but not everyone can get the Ohio InfoSec Forum Raspberry Pi sleeve case. And this is really cool because it's a very low profile case, especially compared to the original kind of massive box. You just take your Raspberry Pi, take your cap, and this is all 3D printed. So we'll just slide this cap right on, if I can do this on camera. There we go. Take your Raspberry Pi and just slide it in there. And look at that. Tiny little Raspberry Pi case. Really cool. You can reach all your connectors, even has the SD card slot in the back. Now, the best part about this, I downloaded this part off of Thingiverse. A guy by the name of, a user by the name of Walter made the original sleeve case. I just put our logo on the top of it. And it looks really cool. It's awesome to make. You can just print a bunch of these, which is what we did. And you get your own Raspberry Pi case. Another cool thing I saw on Thingiverse was you can actually make a Game Boy out of a Raspberry Pi, which is really cool. So check that stuff out, and 3D printers are awesome.
And Paul on the other show, if you have a question for him, he bought one for $300. So they're inexpensive. They're not the $300 printer is not the best one ever, but if you're 3D printer curious, for $300 you can get into it.
Yeah, and I think I will. Oh, and I do have to say this. If you wanted this, you can go to ohioinfosec.org. Go to our anniversary conference blog post, and at the very bottom, you'll find a link to a GitHub repo with all the source files, and then a link to Thingiverse where you can download this exact case, or see the original if you want one without the logo. Download it, print it, get one made yourself. Really cool stuff.
Okay, guys, we're over, so let's end it. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.